Hello everyone, Ryan here with another 2020 Subaru Outback video for you. In this video, I wanted to show you the finished product on the tint of this particular Outback. A few days ago, I posted a video that showed the factory or stock tint values. On the upper level trims of the Outback, there's some factory tint that's installed. And you can go ahead and add additional tint to that, and that's what we've done in this Outback. And I wanted to show you what the finished product looks like, as well as what I considered as I tinted the Outback, and some things you may want to keep in mind as well. So the first thing I want to point out is right up here on the windshield. As we walk towards the windshield, you'll notice that the two cameras right there at the top, and those are the ISight cameras right up here. Now we don't want to mess with the ISight cameras of the vehicle at all because they involve the safety systems of the vehicle as well as the adaptive cruise control and other things. Now you will notice that there is a small tint strip right up here at the top. It's rather small, especially compared to other vehicles. And I assume that Subaru has made that rather small just to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the ISight system of the Outback. And I talked it over with our tinting expert, and we decided not to modify that tint strip at all or lengthen it as he would typically recommend, because we didn't want to interfere with the safety systems of the Outback at all. As well as it just can cause other problems installing the tint. It could potentially damage the cameras. So as you consider tinting an Outback, that's something you are going to want to talk over with your tinting expert and say, hey, look, I don't want the front windshield bothered or touched in any way because we don't want to mess with those ISight cameras on the front of the vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and look down the side of the vehicle here just to give you a sense of how this looks with this tint installed. Now we have some tint on all these windows here. On the front here, we installed a 20% tint, or I'm sorry, a 50% tint. And on the rear, we installed a 20% tint. So this brings it down to about a 43%, I think, in Utah. 43%, somewhere right in there is the legal range. And that's what this is at right now. So you can see that on this particular trim with the chrome outline of the windows, I think it really helps it pop when you tint it. A lot of people are deleting this or putting some kind of blackout material or something on this chrome strip because they don't want to show the chromed out view of the windshield. I think it looks really sharp, especially with the darker tint back here. It really helps that chrome pop, and I think it adds a lot of style to the Outback. So what we have here installed on both of these is SunTech ceramic tint. And as I mentioned, this is 50% up here and 20% in the rear. And the reason why we installed ceramic tint is because on this particular trim, on the turbos, the only turbo you can get, the only XT you can get in red comes with a black interior. And I live in northern Utah where it can be rather cold in the winter, but especially hot in the summer. And I wanted a way to try to remove some of that infrared heat emanating into the vehicle. And our tinting expert, who I've worked with over a number of years, has said, you've got to try out this ceramic stuff. It's supposed to really help. So as it gets a little warmer, I'll have to report back on whether the ceramic tint is really helping with the heat. But a lot of people say that it does. So we're looking forward to checking that out. Now we also tinted up here on the moonroof or the sunroof. Also got tinted on this vehicle. So we tinted that as well. So hopefully all of that ceramic tint will help with the heat transfer as we get to summer here. So let's walk around to the back here and look at the rear hatch. We also tinted the rear hatch back here, and it looks. I think it looks fantastic, especially with. I mean, it was already pretty dark with the factory tint, but I think with the tint that we installed, it makes it pop even more. Now, in addition to that, we also put vinyl overlay or protective material on these rear emblems here and the front emblem as well. Now, this is just regular clear bra material, nothing special about it. But these, a lot of people have asked me about these. These are, sorry, I accidentally triggered the rear hatch opening there. A lot of people have asked about these vinyl stickers, and these are from Orsini Vinyl. I'm not associated with them or anything like that. I just think they look really neat, and with the vinyl overlay, I think it helps pop a little bit more. There's a lot of detail here in the design that can pop up, and so putting down that vinyl overlay has really helped. So another thing that we did is we installed protective material on the headlights right here. So I want to show you the headlights right here, if we can show that. Excuse us while we move the camera around here. So we put a protective material on the headlights, and the person who installed it said, hey, look, this really was a lot of work. And the reason why is because of this little lip right here on the bottom of the headlight. It was really hard to get that protective material to lay down on the headlights. And it turned out okay. It was definitely really, really hard to do because there's so many different curves in here. And it's something you want to consider if you're wanting to protect these headlights. These headlight assemblies are not cheap. I think the retail is about $720, so maybe a street price of $500 or $600. And they're really one assembly because of the LED lights and everything. So if you ever have any problems with these headlights at all, like discoloration or anything like that, you might end up needing to replace the entire unit, which is going to be rather expensive. So you might want to consider getting some protective material on those headlights. And then, as I mentioned, we also have that vinyl protective material here on the front emblem, and I think it really helps that pop and helps protect all that little fine detail in there, especially as we go into the snow and we have ice and salt and stuff hitting that. So that's sort of completes the overview of what we did on this particular Outback. Overall, I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. If you have an Outback and you don't have it, and you just have the factory tint, there's nothing wrong with that. The factory tint looks great, and I think it helps. I think it looks fantastic. But I'm really happy with how the darker tint helps it pop. And driving inside, I think it really helps just darken the cabin down a little bit and helps it feel a little bit more comfortable. You feel like you have a little bit more privacy, and hopefully it'll handle the heat in the summer. So our test vehicle today has been the 2020 Subaru Outback Limited XT. I'm the owner of this vehicle. I don't work for Subaru or a Subaru retailer, making these videos just to help others get the most out of their Outback. So I apologize, I was maybe kind of a little bit all over the map there, but I just wanted to give you a sense of what you might want to consider as you add protective film and tint to your Outback. Thanks for watching.